So thinking back, I remember sitting in the doctor's office and him saying, yes, well, you're 1.5 stone overweight. That's probably contributing to all the problems you're having. And me sitting there thinking, great, this sinking feeling, thinking, how have I got to another 1.5 stone overweight when I've been to a diet club twice and lost 3 stone each time? How am I still in this situation? And just feeling despair and ashamed, I suppose, as well, because his attitude was, come on, pull yourself together. And I was a bit like, okay, so how do I do that? Because I just can't keep the weight off. And he said, well, it's very simple, really. You just eat less and move more. And I just thought, it is so not that simple. I do that. I've done that for 30 years. I keep yo-yo dieting, and this is surely not the answer. Anyway, so I went away very despondent and very upset. And I just thought, wow, there must be a better way. Anyway, a couple of years later, luckily, I came across the idea that food could actually be the answer, and that whatever we were eating would make the outcome. So, whatever it was that we were eating was what came out in our bodies. And I started to look at it and really want to know and really research it. And so I came across the alternative to the low-fat, eat less, move more mantra that we're always told. It works short term, but it doesn't work long term. I can't face eating food that's devoid of flavour. If it's devoid of fat, it has no flavour. I'm trying to find things that make it flavourful. I'm eating, super low-fat yogurts, fruit yogurts, containing loads of chemicals, just to get the kind of mouthfeel that I'm looking for. I did find it. I found it through low carb and fasting. And the point is, it doesn't replace the need for a calorie deficit if you've stored weight. But what it does is it makes you not notice that you are having a calorie deficit. Because when you're fasting, you don't crave and you fill full up with full fat food. And so anything that took my mind off of that, desperate, I've got to shave more calories off here, or this particular food tastes so devoid of flavour, but it's doing me good because it's low calorie. Boring salads or meat with absolutely not a scrap of fat on it. All these different things. I couldn't sustain it by eating that way. And so finding this revelation, which was just eating in a smaller time frame, but eating every meal full fat and delicious, not having portion control, just eating what I wanted there, eating in it literally until I just could eat no more, and losing weight sustainably. So 8 years I've not been on the weighing scales. And this is the best bit. When I went back to that same doctor and I was at a stable weight, I absolutely no idea what I weighed, because I don't weigh myself, because that just messed with my head. When I went back to that same doctor, And he said, wow, you know, and they did that NHS thing where they work out your risk. I think it's called the Q risk of whether you're, you know, in line for a heart attack. So they do that over age 40. So I must have been about 45 at this point. And he said, wow, your Q risk is, you know, super, super low. It's like 0.1% or maybe 0.01%. Can't remember what it was. It was very low and very good. And he said, what have you been doing? And so I told him what I've been doing. You know, the low carb and the fasting. And it's, you know, I haven't had to get on the scales for, you know, at that point, I think it was about 3.5 years. And you know what he said to me? He said, you could be doing yourself some serious harm. Right, so, okay. So I'm at a stable weight. My eczema has cleared. I have no symptoms of any kind. This was, you know, this was that wellness checkup. And I wanted to see what my blood test scores and all that sort of stuff were. And he told me that I was doing it wrong. I was doing it wrong. So I was super healthy, but I was doing it wrong. And then he proceeded to say that his type 2 diabetes and his, I mean, God, it was so candid that he even told me this, that his kidney problems, which is a knock-on effect of type 2 diabetes, by the way, and a total, you know, red flag for insulin resistance and blood sugar disorders. And he told me it had nothing to do with the food he ate, because the food he ate was low fat, whole wheat, and, you know, mostly vegetarian. And I was like, okay, that to me was the absolute confirmation that the message we're getting from people in authority is not correct. And that's why I offer an alternative. I am the alternative. I'm showing people that you can sort your blood sugar out, which sorts everything else out. And once you sort that out and you move over to eating in a way where you're not craving, where everything tastes good, that's the alternative. That is the way. If you've struggled every other which way, if you bought every diet book under the sun, if you've been to a diet club more than once, if you're still searching for that magic bullet, there isn't a magic bullet. We've had this all this time. We've just got lost in the information. And the information is generally eat less, move more, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for most people. It works for a little amount of time, and then you get bored and the food doesn't taste good and you give up. I don't want that for you. Don't give up, because this is the answer. So if you're looking for an alternative, this is the answer. If you've had it with low fat, eat less, move more, there is a reason for that. Your biology was not designed for it. And so here is the alternative. Here is a living proof 10-year case study. And I'm telling you, it works. It worked for me, so why wouldn't it work for you? If you're human, if you've got the same biology, if you're not alien, then it will work. So check it out. Why not? Head over to the website. Natasha is Wide-Eyed. I just give you the choice as to whether you want to know a little bit more.